This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
Twin Speaks, first watch, first listen of Ocean's 8, starring Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Awkwafina, Rihanna, and Helena Bonham Carter. Written by Gary Ross and Olivia Milch, directed by Gary Ross, produced by Steven Soderbergh and Susan Eakins. I am your co-host, Pat, and you can find me on Twitter at KidCombo_. And I am, of course, joined by my twin brother and co-host. You can find him on social media at Andemodium. I wrote down the same thing from last time, but so I'm not even going to bother with
this
anything.
This is least favorite.
Yeah, least favorite article of clothing. Well, I mean, you're wearing jorts right now, so.
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree and say denim is definitely my favorite article of clothing.
Well, no, it was white denim, though. That's the joke. Yeah.
I can't form an opinion about white denim because I've never
You don't care about
denim.
what you can't. Okay, well, his name's Andrew, and he's here too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously we're going to talk about
movie news,
Ocean's 8 and stuff, but first, did you hear? Well, okay, so there's like a lot of stuff that came out this week.
Yeah,
in terms
of
like
trailers.
Yeah, movie news and stuff. But first, we're gonna just get to the sort of surprise, I guess, but surprise passing of Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, he passed away on Friday morning. He was 61 years old. He leaves behind sort of a pretty mega legacy. It seems like anything you read about him, anything like, you know, from his past, from interviews, from everything like that. Like you were watching some segment last night, right?
Yeah, the what's his face? Something Cooper, Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, the CNN thing.
Tribute to him, because I guess they were friends. I don't know. Based on the video, it kind of seemed like maybe they just knew each other through CNN. But
right.
Yeah, it was nice. Like, he did say like a lot of nice stuff, and I think I agree with like a lot of it. Like, as somebody who is like a big fan of like
Anthony Bourdain,
yeah, of like Parts Unknown and No Reservations. Like I'm a pretty big like cooking TV fan, like of YouTube channels, and his stuff was like sort of that catalyst for me. Like, not to like be too much of a bummer, but like that stuff was so interesting to me at the time, and and like to see him pass away was sort of a bummer, because like I saw like a couple of quotes, especially from like Maddie Maston on Instagram, and he kind of said like Anthony Bourdain was the first like rock star of cooking. Like, he was this like really cool guy, and he had this
kind of like Tom Waits
attitude
exactly to him. Yeah.
He was just like really cool, and like it's like such a bummer to know that we're not getting any more of that. And he's got a kid. He's got like an 11-year-old child. And he was like doing something in France.
Yeah.
When this happened.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's hard to know sort of from the public eye what kind of stuff. I mean, I was like listening to this one thing, and they were like, he seemed to have a pretty good life. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, you don't know anything about him, right? Like, you can only make that assumption that, from the outside, he seemed pretty well off, but like, you don't know what's inside his head. You don't know what he's dealing with every day,
scary,
right?
About depression and like suicide.
Exactly.
You never know. You'll never know what's going on inside someone's head, and until something like this happens, you just assume because he looks on the outside like he's doing okay, but you look after the fact and you go, well, obviously he was dealing with something enough that this is the only outcome he could. This is the only way out. And like, you're never lucid when you're in that state of mind. So like, he obviously like couldn't see past that. Anyways,
very sad.
It's kind of
I mean,
not to start off the podcast in like,
obviously we want to talk about him because obviously it meant a lot to you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, so on to some lighter news. I think maybe the thing that we're both pretty excited about is like the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer that came out. So that's starring Shameik Moore as Miles Morales, Jake Johnson as Peter Parker, the technologically advanced Jake Johnson. Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy. Okay, I'm going to not do well with this name. Mahershala Ali.
Nice.
As Aaron Davis, Miles' uncle. Liev Schreiber as Kingpin, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like he fits
Liev
that so
Schreiber,
well.
yeah.
Liev Schreiber. Lily Tomlin as May Parker, and it is directed by Peter Ramsey, who is also known for Rise of the Guardians, which was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Animated Film in 2012. And then the guy who's writing this, or who had already written, I guess, is the one who wrote 21 Jump Street, Rodney Rothman.
Yeah, I didn't think I was excited for this until I saw the trailer.
Oh yeah, well,
I didn't know what to
teaser.
expect. Like,
Yeah.
I saw it like on the billing from Sony and Marvel, and like I was like, oh, that like
Looks
whatever,
cool.
yeah.
Whatever.
Like a Spider-Verse movie is such like a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is Peter Parker from like 616. I think this is just like
Because he's kind of old in the
this is like
in the trailer.
Ultimate Universe Peter Parker.
It seems like it, but I watched the trailer and then I read some of the comments, and someone said that halfway through there's like another voice for Peter Parker.
Oh,
Which, assuming whatever they have listed on Wikipedia or IMDb as the cast list is sort of like the main cast list, the ones that you're going to be dealing with. Someone said that maybe that's like the other universe Peter Parker.
It's gonna be so tricky though.
Yeah,
but if they
it's
do
gonna be
that,
hard to keep track of.
They do
but
that for like
someone said it
616.
sounded like John Krasinski, like as the other Peter Parker.
Oh, I don't.
Which I mean, I didn't hear
He's
it.
too cool for that.
Yeah, he's definitely. But it looks pretty.
It looked awesome.
Like
I love Jake Johnson as Peter Parker. Like he's basically just his character from Nick from New Girl as Peter Parker.
Just goofy Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the art style is pretty amazing. The
The
whole
art style was
story
very
seemed
like
really cool.
It was just very like comic booky. Like it looked like an animated comic book.
Oh yeah, it looked like it was lifted right from that series of books,
which is sweet.
Because you read that one, right? It's
the
Spider-Verse.
That's a big. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a pretty big
like,
narrative. Yeah,
it's a huge long storyline, but it's good. And like, there's so many different Spider-Mans. Like and Spider People. Like there's Spider Pig, and there's it's Spider-Man, but he's got 8 like limbs.
Yeah. He's like an actual spider kind of thing,
and he's jacked. Like he's got like all of his arms are
like
huge.
That's the huge guy.
Yeah.
And there's like Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
Which is like a cool one.
Then I
forgot what his name is.
Ben Parker.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's like the super like universe, like he's basically Silver Surfer Spider-Man. He's like this cool universe like looking guy. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be excited for this, and then I saw the trailer and it looked really good.
Yeah.
Like it looks great. It's interesting that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are producing.
Well, I was just gonna say, like they're the executive producers for the movie.
Yeah,
which is kind of
bizarre though.
I think honestly, it's just like they're Sony's guys. Like they're the guys that are gonna be involved. I mean, with a lot of this
they've
stuff.
been way more successful with like animated movies. Are they producing, or are they producing the new Lego movie?
They're not directing it, but they are. They wrote the story,
okay,
did the screenplay, and then they're producing that as well.
Okay.
So I mean, they're heavily involved. Yeah,
that's good.
So moving on, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has seemingly added every single Hollywood actor. Currently existing.
As this movie, like every time they come out with like new cast lists, it's like, didn't they already cast for this?
Well,
like,
then it's like,
insane.
Who's left? Who's left to be in this movie?
Yeah,
it seems like
bizarre.
Because so far, like I've written out sort of everybody that's been casted right now. Only a handful of them actually have parts that they've listed who they're playing. So Damian Lewis is Steve McQueen, Luke Perry as Scott Lancer, Emil Hirsch as Jay Sebring, Dakota Fanning as Lynette Squeaky Fromm, who's apparently one of the members of the Mason family. Clifton Collins as Ernesto. What? Manson?
Yeah,
Charles Manson. That's what I said.
He said Mason.
Did I say Mason? Okay, well, Manson, yeah. Clifton Collins as Ernesto the Mexican Vaquero. That's actually what it says in like the Variety article or whatever. Keith Jefferson as Land Pirate Keith.
Nice.
Nicholas Hammond as Sam Wanamaker. And then the other ones who don't have a part yet but are in the movie are Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Burt Reynolds, Timothy Olyphant, Al Pacino, and then just recently, like as of like yesterday or something, James Marden, which is hilarious.
This is a lot. Like who? Like are these cameos or these actual parts?
Well, all I can think about is like who
has Brad Pitt
what's
ever
their
been
budget
in a
for
movie?
this movie?
Yeah, right.
Like, how can they afford to have all of these actors?
Like, doesn't Quentin Tarantino, like, he funds most of his own movies. Like, he produces most of his own movies.
Well, first it was through Weinstein Company.
Oh.
But obviously he's not with that anymore, right? Like, kind of jump shipped as well. Well, and then they went bankrupt.
Right.
And I forgot who they were with now, but obviously the budget is a lot higher if they're able to fund this many people.
Yeah.
This many.
I know
these many huge Hollywood actors into this movie.
I can't, like, first, has Brad Pitt ever been in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought you said
like, how many of these actresses haven't been in movies with each other, and then they'll, like, maybe not even share a scene? Like, many of these guys, many of these people are only going to be in, like, snippets of this movie. Like, this is a huge undertaking.
I'm excited.
It's kind of weird to see Burt Reynolds in a movie, though.
He's got the old school, like, weathered Hollywood look, though. You know what I mean? Like,
but
he's gonna fit
like,
into
not
the
understand
story
like,
a little bit
so
well.
Old now,
he's so
too.
gross looking, man.
I just want them to have Burt Reynolds for part, like, with, like, switching scenes. It's Burt Reynolds and then Norm Macdonald.
Oh,
and to not acknowledge it whatsoever.
Yeah. They just all of a sudden
like he's just like he's like a body double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be cool to see Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie together.
And Al Pacino and
and then Damian Lewis as Stephen Queen. Like, that's a pretty crazy likeness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought about that before, but yeah, that's pretty neat. Okay, so the other big news is that Ryan Reynolds is set to star in a recently announced mystery thriller, Bermuda Triangle, which is directed by Sam Raimi, the Spider-Man director, or previous Spider-Man director.
Yeah.
The script is being written by John Katniss, who has come to fame through the Power Rangers script.
Yeah, nice.
And there is a plot, like, outline for the movie. Like, basically, they announced there was, like, a rumor that Ryan Reynolds has been cast as the male lead, and then it got like, I think it got confirmed through the article that I was reading, and then they had all the other people, but then they, like, a plot line outline kind of came out.
Yeah, I read the plot line. It's like, did they just bank on people not knowing what a Bermuda Triangle is?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, like Bermuda Triangle. I think I know what that is.
It's a spooky place.
Yeah,
with Viking sharks and Nazis.
Everybody's seen, like, the BuzzFeed Unsolved of it, and then
exactly
chalked it up to being like a mystery or ghost story. You know,
I can't imagine being like the producers of this movie going, like, watching movies that have come out and gone, whoa, that Power Rangers movie, like, bomb, but let's get that guy.
Yeah,
let's get the guy that wrote that movie. And then let's make it about just wild stuff. Sir, have you ever been to the Bermuda Triangle? No, but let's put some Nazis in there and call it a day.
Yeah. Do you even know where that is on the map?
Oh, yeah, it's a triangle.
Yeah, it's a triangle, right? Somewhere there. Bob Bermuda.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think this is part of, like, the Ryan Reynolds deal? Remember we were talking about the Deadpool one where,
like, he has to do, like,
the 3-year deal? Yeah. So it was like he's more like, here's a bunch of scripts, and he just went, I'm gonna pick, like, the shittiest, weirdest one.
You know what? Now, I mean, like, as much as we're shitting on this, I am intrigued.
Probably see it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And not just because of Ryan Reynolds, because of Sharks, Vikings, and Nazis.
Yeah, because, like, the tagline is that they, like, reveal, or they, like, find a wormhole that leads to a mysterious island that has sharks, Vikings, and Nazis. This
is just like an alternate plot line to Journey to the Center of the Earth with Will Ferrell. Or they land in that, like, a land of dinosaurs.
Oh yeah,
and
he starts going insane.
Yeah, this is what happens before he falls into the wormhole. Yeah.
I wonder who's gonna play him. Maybe that's who Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. So this is like,
it'd be sweet if this is just set in the future and it's a sequel to that movie,
right? And
Will Ferrell's still down there.
Oh, and then he has to go and get him.
Exactly.
He's one of the Vikings. Or Nazis.
No, he's neither. He's the shark.
No, he's the shark. Moving on. Jared Leto is set to star in and produce the new standalone Joker film for Warner Brothers. Before even seeing it, before even reading anything, before even knowing anything about this movie, you just automatically know this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yep.
They took the worst, like, I even wrote this down. They took the worst, shittiest part of the Suicide Squad movies.
Yep.
the universally objectively hated part of that movie, and he's getting full control now.
Yeah,
like how stupid but like do they have to be? Like,
I don't know. I kind of thought that they were gonna like get away from connecting all these movies because it kind of sounded like they were like, it's not working, and that's why it sounds like the Aquaman movie's by itself. The new Batman's not gonna be Ben Affleck. I kind of thought they had been this, and that was it, and I kind of thought they had been this, and that was it, and now he's getting full control over this movie.
Well, and then don't we know, like, wasn't it
is he going to send
that...
condoms to himself?
Yeah, probably.
Condoms and dead rats.
His own used condoms.
Yeah.
I'm going to just leave this on my doorstep. Oh, look, someone left dead condoms.
Oh, my God. This is so inspiring.
Yeah, wow. This makes me want to be a better joker.
But again, having said that, I'm going to see it.
Isn't the Joaquin Phoenix one? Didn't that get confirmed
I thought
too?
that got confirmed. So unless this is like completely different,
so they're gonna be doing like both of these at the same time. Like I don't understand.
I mean, unless the Joaquin Phoenix one isn't happening. But I kind of thought that was all but decided.
Yeah, like they had a director and everything for it. I don't remember who it is, but I remember reading that where they had the director and Joaquin Phoenix to be in the movie. So, like, is that maybe gonna happen in the future? Is it gonna be like, oh, there's other Jokers or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly just think they need to, like, I mean, whatever. We'll get into that maybe later, but dump the whole thing, man.
Yeah, no, I think they need to press the big red reset button.
Which sucks, because, like, I
actually
love
didn't
DC
mind.
movies.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind Suicide Squad. Like, I know it's super linear and it's super basic and it's super, like...
It was fun.
Dumbed down, but, like, I don't know. Yeah. It's not awful.
Great
like it's
movie.
I actually think it's better than Justice League.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a hot take. Well, not really, because they're both crappy.
Not at all.
No, they're like that's a you take
that
one
is
or the other kind of
thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be a disaster.
Yep.
Straight up. Anyway, It Chapter 2 has cast Isaiah Mustafa as adult Mike, and that guy, that's the Old Spice guy with the muscles.
I feel bad, but like I was like, I don't know which one Mike was.
He's the one, like, at the end with, like, the well, and he has, like, that cool gun.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And he's the one that, like, beats the bully up.
So I had read somewhere that they were, like...
I think that's what it is.
All the kids had written down who they wanted to play them.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't hear about Mike's, but, like, I read that Jessica Chastain was Beverly's choice, and Bill Hader was... the kid that's also in Stranger Things.
Wolfgang, yeah.
Yeah, the Canadian kid.
Is that
he was...
What is that his name? Something Wolf. It's not Wolfgang. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, really? I didn't...
Yeah, so, like, I know that's what you have written down.
Yeah.
Like, James McAvoy's in this, too?
Apparently, yeah. So, right now we have... we have Jessica Chastain as Beverly. That's, like, the confirmed one, obviously.
Yeah, that's the only one, as far as
Isaiah
I know.
Mustafa as adult Mike. But then we have James McAvoy, Bill Hader, and Jay Ryan set to play Bill, Richie, and Ben. So it'll be cool to actually see sort of, like, that direction of how they match up, how they actually, like, continue to be whatever characters. Because obviously you can't pretend to just be a kid as an adult. There has to be some sort of growth in that direction, right? You have to be sort of like adult versions of those kids.
Yeah.
Including
and I think that's
maturity, rather.
Yeah. Jessica Chastain, that's fine. Like, I think she'll be great. But, like, the James McAvoy, I'm excited to see. And if Bill Hader is on, then that'd be sweet. Like, I'm actually so into that. Yeah.
Bill Hader doing any sort of acting is kind of exciting.
Well, I've been watching... I haven't caught up completely, but I've been watching Barry.
Oh, Barry, yeah, right.
And it's good. Like, he does actually act in that movie. And it's kind of funny. It's, like, very, like, meta in the sense that he is, like, in real life, he's a comedian that hasn't done, like, a ton of acting.
Yeah.
And then the acting that he's done is really good. Like, he was in Skeleton Twins, and he was also in the What's-Her-Face movie, the one with LeBron James.
Oh, Trainwreck, yeah.
Trainwreck. And he was really good in that. And then to see him in this, he's playing a hitman that doesn't want to be a hitman anymore. He wants to be an actor.
Yeah,
kind of, like, definitely has some parallels to his real life. It's good. It's, like, really good. So I'm excited to see him, like, do that.
Did you listen to that podcast he did with Mark Maron?
No, I listened to the one with the off-camera show.
Oh yeah, that one was good too.
And that one was good. And like he does talk about how he hasn't gotten a chance really to do some acting.
Yeah, that's right.
And like that he basically went to HBO and was like, yeah, we kind of have a loose idea of what to do, and they basically just like threw him some money and was like, go for it.
Well, and that's the one thing I had heard too from the other podcast was like he was on to write something, basically. Yeah. And they were like, okay, well, do something. Here's this other guy who's going to help you do it.
Like he basically signed a deal to do something for them.
Yeah.
He didn't know what he was doing yet.
And so like hearing him talk about, going through like the casting process and like all of that stuff, doing the writing, doing the acting part of it. He said like on the first day of acting, he didn't even know how he was going to be playing Barry. And then he said it sort of just developed into something. And it's kind of neat just to hear Bill Hader's like, process, but like more as in like kind of just a very casual way. Like you hear some actors and it's like they spend so much time preparing, blah, blah, blah. Whereas he was like, I was doing the directing, I was doing the writing. I didn't really have time to think about the acting until like afterwards. And then you see the finished product and you're like, oh yeah, no, they actually worked out.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's kind of like, it's interesting to hear because you don't really hear that from a ton of, I mean, maybe just because he's never been in that position, he's like describing it more thoroughly, but like, I feel like we never really get that from actors that like, that very clear cut on what they have to like a process they have to go through.
Just a very casual way of describing it.
But yeah, I'm excited for It Chapter 2. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Really like.
I mean, I was excited for it before the casting.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, do they still have same director as last time? I think it's
set to start filming soon, though, right?
Yeah, it said it was going to start filming this summer.
Oh,
so
okay.
Assuming maybe they've already started, or perhaps
Yeah.
in July, but it sounds like they're setting up for September 6th, 2019. Obviously, it's like set to change or whatever, but loose date. Oh yeah, so like with all this other news, there's been like a massive amount of trailers that came out
like a new
in like
thing.
I
feel
like
like
last week. Over this 5-day, 6-day period.
Like, I'd be curious to see if this happens like every year, and we're just like always surprised by how many trailers come out this week. It's a lot, and like I'm assuming that they just like time it for the first full week of June.
Yeah, and because I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I deleted like 6 other ones.
Yeah,
too.
like we saw Ocean's 8, and they had the girl in the spider web also played.
Yeah,
before.
And then the other one, A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
which looks cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks okay.
It looks.
I'm not gonna see it. I probably won't see
fine.
it.
Yeah,
but
it looks fine.
It looks fine.
No. Anyways,
first one that we're gonna talk about is First Man.
Yep.
The new Damien Chazelle movie based on the book by James R. Hansen titled First Man: The Life of Neil A. Armstrong. Do you think James R. Hansen changed his name after he titled the book like Neil A. Armstrong? He's like, Neil Armstrong is like a huge A.
Or maybe I've never heard him called Neil A. Armstrong.
I've never heard
I
that
feel like
either.
he put in the title Neil A. Armstrong because he just assumed people love going by their middle initial.
Probably because like he did it already or something.
He's like, you don't use the A?
No, I think you should.
I'm gonna put the A. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So it stars Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong, Claire Foy as Janet Sheeran, who's Armstrong's wife. Also Corey Stoll, bald guy from Ant-Man, as Buzz Aldrin, Kyle Chandler, Jason Clarke, and Patrick Fugit, who are all like very like 60s looking guys, like very like
Kyle Chandler is 100% just because he was in like he was in Super 8.
Oh yeah, and then
he's still like that. He's just that model of like a very like
Yeah.
I feel like Claire Foy's in everything right now.
Right now, like when we saw Ocean's 8, I feel like she was in every trailer.
Yeah, she was in the 3 trailers that showed. She was in each of them, I think.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So whatever she's like,
I don't know what
maybe
she's
got
been
like
in.
a new
like,
agent
I have
or
no
something.
idea. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It
looks
good.
Really
I actually
good.
stopped watching the trailer because like I didn't want like how it ends. Like this isn't like that's the problem with these biopics.
He went to the moon and he came back.
And it comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But
Sorry.
But yeah, like I didn't want to like continue watching because it looks really good. Like I'll definitely see this, but I don't want the rest of it spoiled because like that trailer especially is very linear. Like it, like you know how like some trailers, like especially the teaser trailers now, they like it's just a mashup of scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because I don't want the plot spoiled.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want everything. I just want like enough of a sizzle to be like, yeah, fine. Okay.
That I get the idea that I have something to be excited about.
This trailer was very like start and an end, I'm assuming, because I didn't get that far, but like it seemed like it definitely kind of went along that line.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Corey Stoll in like a serious movie.
Yeah, right? Because like
he's been in some, but like he kind of is like that interchangeable bald guy.
Bald, sort of like villainy kind of character, like kind of bad, but kind of good.
Him and like Mark Strong and Paul Scheer and
Paul Scheer. Him and Paul Scheer kind of look the same. Yeah. I think he's maybe more handsome. Yeah, not Paul Scheer.
He's like a handsome version of. He's like an expensive, like a brand name version of Paul Scheer.
Paul Scheer is a poor man's version of Corey Stoll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then
it looks
Mark Strong is the
the platinum version.
Yeah, he's the Jaguar version of Corey Stoll. Yeah, because he was in those. Yeah, anyways.
Anyway, yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah,
I think it looks pretty incredible. Just like all the scenes in it, like it seems like it follows very like right from like the book about all the cool stuff that like Neil Armstrong. I almost said Neil A. Armstrong. I've never said that before, and then reading it now, it's like, oh, is that how he's supposed to? Anyway, it looks pretty incredible. Like I'm really excited for it. I think Damien Chazelle kind of has like he can do whatever he wants right now. You know, definitely. Obviously, he made a musical with Ryan Gosling. Like, he's sort of already at that point. I think. I
actually forgot that he did. Yeah, like, do you think Ryan Gosling gets like typecast as an actor that has a good stoic face?
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of movies he just looks
serious all the time.
Yeah. Like serious, like he's thinking and brooding.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
I mean, outside of the like, what was it called?
La La Land.
La La Land. Outside of that, yeah, like he like 9 times out of 10 is just staring blankly next to a camera.
Okay, moving along. Suspiria, which is like the remake of the new Luca Guadagnino. Guadagnino. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's the guy who directed Call Me by Your Name. So it's like a remake of an already existing movie, obviously. Yeah. It stars Dakota Johnson, Tilda Swinton, Mia Goth, and Chloe Grace Moretz. Did I say that right? Moretz? I don't know.
This is an interesting cast list, though.
Yeah. So I watched the trailer. It's pretty intense. Oh. It has like the very cool, like grainy sort of like, what would you call that? 60 millimeter kind of.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like almost like a Super 8 kind of style, like where it's very grainy, very old school. It looks really intense, really kind of scary. I haven't actually seen the original one, but I read like after watching the trailer, and it kind of doesn't give anything away. It just looks super interesting. After like watching the trailer, I read like this plot line that someone had described what happens of the movie. And it was like, oh my God, I apparently it's like enough for people to leave the theater, kind of grotesque kind of imagery. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, watching that.
Dakota Johnson looks kind of terrifying in this.
Yeah, right? Like she's sort of like the driving force of the entire movie too. The relationship between her and like Tilda Swinton, and then whatever like dance, because they're dancers.
Right.
Whatever like dance studio they're in, I think. I haven't actually seen like the original one.
World-renowned dance company. Yeah. And it's about them and a grieving psychotherapist.
Yeah, that's. I know, it looks pretty wild. I'm excited for it. I think it's really cool.
Trailer's cut though. This is cool.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton's still like freaky looking though.
She kind of pulls off that kind of zany, unhinged look pretty well.
Unhinged is such a good way of describing it. Yeah. Her, Dakota Johnson. I mean, like that's somebody that I was actually gonna say, because like part of what makes this cast list so interesting is that Mia Goth is terrifying looking. She has that same like look as Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz and Dakota Johnson are both very like classic American actor. Like they look like you're very average.
Style,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, but Dakota Johnson looks really good in this, and I didn't see based on the teaser like how far I got in, but Chloe Grace Moretz, but I'm assuming that she looks very similar. So like,
I don't remember. I think she's only in it maybe once or something.
Yeah, I'll probably see this just based on the cast. But like,
It'll be cool to see Dakota Johnson
kinda spooky.
doing something like this.
That's what I was gonna say.
She sort of gets like wrangled.
She
into,
doesn't
like, the Hollywood,
really have all those
the ditzy kind of character. But
yeah, totally.
I'm excited. I think she's actually a pretty good actor, despite sort of like the, what she's been given with whatever contract she signed with 50 Shades of Grey. Like, bullshit,
I mean, hopefully that didn't like torpedo her career.
Yeah,
but
right.
You never know.
Well, I mean, the fact that
she's doing this, so I guess not so much.
Okay, so next one is Mortal Engines, which is like the new sort of like Lord of the Rings, like Hobbit group project. And I say group project because like going through the like list of people involved, it's basically everybody that Peter Jackson's ever employed onto a movie. Like the guy directing it was like the visual, director of.
So you think he's just calling it a bunch of favors then?
Well, I don't know. Maybe not favors, but maybe just like this is his team and like because he's a producer for it, obviously.
Yeah.
And like if you go to
he
like
not directing it?
No, but if you go to the stuff for it, like the movie poster, it says like from the team or whatever, from the people that brought you, studio that brought you, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list right now.
It's based on a YA novel.
A what?
A YA novel.
What's that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a series of novels.
Yeah.
And it's like supposed to be like this kind of like not cyberpunk. What am I thinking of?
It's cyberpunk.
No, what's the one
steampunk.
Steampunk. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
It's kind of based on like a steampunk kind of style.
It looks like that. Like it looks a little too much like Sky Captain the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like that really shit Jude Law and Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
That movie did not age well.
No.
And this looks so much like it. Like you've got like all this machinery and shit, and then as soon as they go outside, it's just CG. Like it looks terrible.
It kind of looks like
Any
the entire
movie that, like CG's clouds next to planes looks fucking awful.
The whole trailer looks just
it doesn't
awful.
look good, but like at the same time, any scene with Hugo Weaving, I'm like, all right, fine. Like I feel like they purposely like Hugo Weaving is in every other scene in that trailer.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, Hugo Weaving, and you're like, oh, fuck, who is this? And then you're like, oh, Hugo Weaving, and then you're like, oh, god damn it.
Well, and I guess like the main girl, the one with the mask on in the trailer, in the book, she's like really kind of mutilated.
Right.
Like Hugo Weaving's
like
character was supposed to be like the one that mutilated her and like killed her mom and stuff. But like in the trailer, in like this version of it, she has a single scar like above her lip or something.
No, it's like down from her like cheek to her lip.
And it's like, oh, like
yeah, that's the thing. I never
if you're gonna CGI everything else, just like CGI like her face
like
being
really
kind of fucked
nasty,
up. Like, come on,
like Two-Face scar from Dark Knight.
But I guess like they kind of want. I don't know. I honestly don't really know the reason why they wouldn't just commit to that when they're committing to like doing the biggest, these giant moving cities and stuff with like, and then they're doing like clouds and planes and stuff like that, and they're gonna CGI everything else.
So I'm wondering,
why not just do her scars and stuff?
So yeah, no, I agree, and like I think looking at this movie too, you look at the cast list, and the biggest name is Hugo Weaving, and the rest are very like
I didn't even bother
no
writing
name,
them down,
because like everybody like they blew. You have to think that they blew most of the budget on the team.
Yep.
The crew from Peter Jackson's group, and then just like hiring Hugo Weaving, and then just kind of going, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fill in the gaps and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2 thumbs down. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, I probably won't see it. Halloween, the new Halloween trailer, which actually looks pretty insane. Directed by David Gordon Green, who's like Danny McBride's like. He's worked with Danny McBride for a long time.
They're like the Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg.
Yeah, pretty much. Written by Jeff Radley, Danny McBride, and David Gordon Green, starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
she's back.
Yeah.
The whole trailer was like really intense. I do like how, and sort of like one of the things I think that made the original Halloween so good too. And I remember reading this in like it was like a feature article or something like that. Was like that the body count for the amount of people that he kills, it's only like 3 to 5 or something.
Oh,
it's not that much. And so like in this, you only really see him kill. I mean, in the trailer, like
I don't think you see him kill people.
Well, you see what's his face. He takes like the teeth out of that guy,
but you don't see him do it.
No, you don't see him do it. No.
Yeah.
But like that's I think, and then he's like standing in a crowd of like the kids during Halloween.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, he's gonna kill everybody, and he doesn't. Like
No.
he just sort of like wanders away, and it's like, oh okay, like I see how they're doing this.
Right.
And I think that sort of is gonna help it.
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
think
more.
that's what makes him more scary is that he's not this like unhinged mass murderer. Like he's focused. Like he's
focused, but he's unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Yeah, and that's what seems really good. Like again, like oh man, I'm not. And, like, it sucks because, like, I'm not a huge fan of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, really?
And maybe that's just because I saw her in Scream Queens, and, like, she plays that kind of, like, aloof.
Yeah.
Not serious and, like, so, character. Yeah, and, like, and that's kind of stuck in my head the entire time watching this. And then her from, like, the probiotic commercials.
Oh, yeah.
So, like.
The yogurt one.
Yeah. So, like, maybe that's it. But, like, she looks really good in this. Yeah. Her wig does not.
Yeah, there's something weird about her hair. I don't know if it was a wig or not, but it just kind of looked. It
just
looked a little off. Yeah, a little bit off.
No, she looks badass in this and looks sick.
Yep.
And like I'm really excited about this.
Definitely.
And I probably I will go to it because Jill will make me go to it. But like yeah.
But that's big for you because you're not a huge horror
I'm
fan.
not really a horror fan, but this looks just like intense enough, and I like the way that it's shot.
Yeah.
And that scene with him handing the mask, like the documentary maker handing the mask to him, is like intense enough for me to be like, fuck yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that one's exciting. Next one is The Old Man and the Gun, which is directed by David Lowery, or written and directed by David Lowery, who wrote and directed A Ghost Story, which I guess, was that last year or the year before?
I think it might have been the year before, like 2016.
And it stars Robert Redford, Casey Affleck, Danny Glover, Sissy Spacek.
Oh, Danny Glover's in this?
I think that's how you say your name. And Tom Waits. Tom Waits is in like the trailer just like briefly. I think it's like twice or something, but
oh really?
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
I'm kind of just excited that Robert Redford's in this.
Well, he looks so great
old
in the
man
movie.
Robert Redford is like, after seeing him in Winter Soldier, I'm like, yeah, like
yeah, I love Robert Redford. Robert Redford,
he's got
aged
this like
very
charismatic.
well.
Yeah,
he's very charismatic.
Yeah.
He's very lovable.
Yeah, Tom Waits is kind of bizarre too.
Well, and that's the thing too. He said that. I remember reading like an interview, and he said that this is going to be like the retirement movie
for Robert Redford.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously you can expect that to be sort of like a buzz movie at the end of the year with award season, but
it looks good.
Apart
though.
from that, it definitely does look like a good movie.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing is that like
the whole idea is awesome.
If they release so close to like what the post that got released, like
yeah.
And like before that, it was Bridge of Spies, and there's so many of these movies that release so close, and because they have like such a good cast that they automatically get considered.
Yeah,
and they're good and they're fine, but they're not anything special.
No,
and like I'm really hoping that like when we see movies that get released so close to that they are good. Like this looks good. Like the trailer got me.
Yeah,
and
it's cool to see like a supporting cast like that too. What's that, sorry?
Well, I just that Ghost Story movie.
Did you watch it?
I watched part of it.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And
I liked it. I thought it was very interesting.
I thought
very sad.
It felt like I was supposed to like it because it was like
an interesting story.
No,
oh.
I felt like I was obligated to like it because of how like art housey it was, and I didn't. And it's bad. It's not good.
It's a good movie.
What makes it good?
I don't know. I think the story itself is original. The idea that he's like she's dealing with all this trauma in like such an interesting way. I mean, I thought the entire movie.
I think it's fun. I think it's good. It's well shot, well written and stuff. But it's boring.
Whatever. Moving on.
Yeah.
The Lego Movie 2 got a trailer out. Directed by Michael Mitchell and Trisha Gum. Written by Phil Lord, Chris Miller, Raphael Bob Waxberg. And Michelle Morgan, starring pretty much everybody from the other ones.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like almost the exact same cast list.
Yeah, I'm glad that most of these characters are back. I read like somebody's like what they think the synopsis of the movie is, and it's like as if the kid's now older and come back with like their Lego to try and steal the Lego from Will Ferrell's character. It looks funny though. Like it still looks so good. Like
I think it still looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, like I don't think there was any doubt that I would have. Although having said that, all the other Lego movies that have come out, have done okay.
Oh,
as far as like rating wise.
Well,
like,
that
I think
Ninja
money wise,
something.
Ninjago.
Yeah, I didn't see
that one. Did
one,
fine.
But...
I didn't see that one, but I did see like the Batman Lego movie, and that one was funny and like good. I think this will be the same. Like I think they've stumbled onto a good like. I don't want to say recipe because it makes it sound so like boring.
Cookie cutter, yeah.
Cookie cutter. But like they have
pretty much
something funny, something like enough and catchy enough that like you
with
you're
enough
into
emotional weight to carry the movie. Yeah. They can kind of let actors be funny. And not be so
glad to see Phil Lord and Chris Miller still. I think they got
shafted.
Yeah, a little bit. Not much, but like
I
just don't think that was their thing.
Yeah, we only know sort of the outside perspective of that one.
Totally.
Next up, last one is Bumblebee. I stopped watching Transformers after like the second one, maybe.
Yeah, probably the same.
And maybe like clips of it, like unknowingly on TV or something. But this is directed by Travis Knight, who did Kubo and the Two Strings,
and a bunch of other animated
whole bunch of other animated stuff. Written by Christina Hodson, starring Haley Steinfeld, John Cena, George Lodenberg Jr., Rachel Crow, among others. There was a kind of a bigger cast list. I just didn't bother writing it down. But yeah, I mean, watching the trailer, it's definitely a different feeling and like theme of the previous ones.
I think it's
previous ones being Transformers movies in general.
Yeah. So I think this was shot differently.
Oh yeah.
But I do think that this is going to follow a very, very similar like design as the first Transformers movie.
Probably.
Like
I think it's safe to say that.
Goes to get a car, ends up with the Transformers car, which is Bumblebee at the same one. Ends up unwittingly like participating in a war between two Transformers government agents involved.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the exact same, but I think what makes this more interesting is that you physically see them transform, you physically see Bumblebee, and you physically see like you actually get to see everything. It's not like a hunk of metal and everything.
Well, and then shaky cam until it appears, and then you're like, oh, there it goes. Okay. I mean, like one of the first scenes with it, you see it actually transform.
Yeah, it actually looks good.
You're like, oh, cool.
Looks sick.
Nice.
I also see that there's two different Bumblebees in it. Like there's one a Jeep Bumblebee, and then there's like the VW Bug Bumblebee. And I know that like at the time, like of the first couple Transformer movies, the reason they didn't do the original VW Bug was because VW didn't want their cars associated with war toys anymore. Oh. But now that they've done this like awful emission scam, basically, I read somewhere that
they're just trying to get back in the good books.
Yeah, exactly. Is John Cena a brand name version of Mark Wahlberg, or is he a poor man's Mark Wahlberg?
I think you know.
I don't.
But
I want him to be.
He's in the trailer for maybe all of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe all of 3 seconds. Like it's probably shorter than that.
It's probably shorter than that.
And he looks like just an army guy.
Yeah, but again, seeing him in Trainwreck.
Oh yeah,
I don't think he's a good actor. Yeah,
he's a good actor.
Yeah, I don't think he's awful, and like. That's fine. I just like seeing John Cena in things.
Let's just say typecast and get it done with.
But no, I don't think this looks awful. I think they did a good job of like getting somebody else to direct these.
Yeah. And Kubo and the Two Strings was pretty amazing movie.
So this will be different at the very least.
Yeah.
Like a different tone.
Okay, so do you want to talk about Ocean's 8 then?
Yeah.
So directed by Gary Ross, written by Gary Ross and Olivia Milch, produced by Steven Soderbergh. So he was still involved. Because remember when the movie started, we were like, oh, did he do this one? Or who was even... Yeah,
I was looking for it during the credits, and they didn't do the full credits during the beginning of the movie. So
the intro,
I was lost.
I saw it at the end there.
Once it got going, I was like, this isn't him.
No, but you can tell like there's certain scenes, like the slow zooms and stuff, zooms out. You can tell that's kind of Steven Soderbergh in a sense.
Yeah.
But
sorry, that yeah.
I did actually like how a lot of those scenes were shot. Anyway, starring Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Awkwafina, Rihanna, and Helena Bonham Carter. What did you think? Or do you want to talk about like the plot first?
Right.
Like kind of describe what happened.
I guess if you're in this far, spoilers, but
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so Danny Ocean's dead.
Yeah, right.
Well, we think that he's dead.
They
allude to him maybe not being dead.
She's like, I hope he's not, or something like that.
And they do that through the entire movie too. Anyways,
they talk about him as if he's alive, but also as if he's dead.
Because like they even ask her, they go like, "Is he dead?" She's like, "I don't know,"
yeah,
or something like, yeah. So Danny Ocean's dead. Sandra Bullock's character Barbara Ocean,
something like that. Yeah.
No, it's something else.
Anyway,
is fresh out of prison. Like the scene is scene for scene from Ocean's 11 when Danny is getting out of prison as well. They're talking about what she would do. She gets out of prison. She immediately starts committing crimes, like stealing and shit.
Yeah, that's right.
She meets up with Cate Blanchett's character Lou, and they begin like planning a heist, and they start recruiting everybody, and they recruit a bunch of different Debbie Ocean. They recruit their team, and then they go and plan on stealing Anne Hathaway character's necklace.
Yep.
That's from the like
royal family somewhere
in France, and
way back when.
Yeah, and the Toussaint.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go steal this Toussaint, and then they end up looping in Anne Hathaway to steal it, and then they pull the wool over James Corden's character, and then they all walk away with much more money than they planned on, because they also end up stealing like a bunch of other stuff.
Like other stuff.
Having said that, that makes it sound so like begin, middle, and end type thing. Like there's not a lot of other stuff. There's not a lot of other stuff explored.
Mm-hmm.
But which is like a classic, I think, Steven Soderbergh move.
Yeah.
Okay, so jumping to the end.
Oh, getting into it.
Yeah. So in Ocean's 11, when they raid the vault in whatever like casino, they the rest of the team is dressed up as SWAT.
Yeah.
And they're going in to get Matt Damon and the acrobat and George Clooney, and they like stage it where it looks like they're the SWAT team, but they're not, and they're actually just stealing the money because they end up playing a clip from somewhere else. That is almost exactly what Cate Blanchett's character does.
Pretty much.
Debbie and Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
And the acrobat.
Because like while everybody else thinks that something happening, something else is happening.
So you do a job at a job.
Yeah.
I liked it. We're gonna shit on it. I'm gonna shit on it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was as good as it could have been, and I think that could have been just my review.
However, I think shitting on it, as maybe we'll talk about, would probably be, if we were doing this, if Ocean's 11 came out right now, probably shit on it the same amount. Because, like, I think there's a lot of things...
No, I disagree.
Oh, really?
I think that the reason that we shit on this is because Ocean's 11 is already a movie that exists.
And maybe
if we just got Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, and this came out, you've been like, yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah,
but because Ocean's 11 is as good as it is...
Yeah, and then the other ones are sort of following that.
Yeah, they're average. Like, they're good. Like, Ocean's 13, I think, is better than Ocean's 12, but...
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, like I'm only shitting on it in comparison.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that there's a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that the way that this movie is edited is my biggest problem. After sitting on this movie for a couple of days, like I think the biggest problem for me is that I would have loved to see more backstory, like we talked about, on all these characters,
especially Cate Blanchett, Debbie Ocean.
Yeah. But having said that, I don't want flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like I think what's cool about Ocean's 11 is that they just refer to stuff. Like they just say stuff like in passing, like everything's like they talk about these jobs they've done and favors that they owe, and it builds that relationship between the characters. Yeah. Like you get to really like understand that yes, these Brad Pitt and George Clooney know everybody, and it comes across sometimes like with some of the characters that Cate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock know, like they have all these deep histories with people. Yep. Like when they're going through people, they're like, "How about this person?" They're like, "No," and then they give a reason, and they're like, how about this person?" And then you they brush it off. Yeah. I wish there was more in passing backstory. It doesn't have to be much. It would take up maybe a total of 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
like for every character, total of 5 minutes.
Well, and I think the one thing that is underutilized through the entire movie are the characters, really, because like we don't really learn a lot about their motivations, and that's the thing. Like you said, with Ocean's 11, them making these passing comments about their history or like people they know, it fills in that gap about what their motivation is for doing these jobs. You know, it's like maybe it is in their family, maybe it's they're just trying to get out. You know, like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's like Mindy Kaling's fucking thing was that she just didn't want to live at home anymore.
Yeah, I didn't like her.
What the hell?
I didn't like her.
They didn't even
reasoning.
use her enough to be like, and I feel like that's the one thing with this movie. It's like it's on the precipice of being a pretty great movie.
Yeah, it is.
A great movie.
Yeah.
And it just like falls short just so short, like it just
falls
almost
short.
there.
It falls short in too many categories for me. Like, and like again, like the biggest problem for me was how it was edited. Like I feel like they did have those scenes, and it really came across sometimes like they did, but they just cut them out.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see why. Like they allude to Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett knowing each other really well, and that they possibly are partners, but like they don't go into it enough, and like maybe that's just because they don't want the focus to be on it. But like I found that interesting. I want to know more about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And like I loved Anne Hathaway. I thought she was so good and so like. She was that like typical celebrity. Like she really did play that like overly confident, douchey. Yeah, exactly. Like people's
she nailed it.
Image of a celebrity. She was that celebrity personified.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, Mindy Kaling's character motivation was just because she was lonely and because she didn't want to live with her parents.
Yeah.
Or her mom.
But then like what we know about it, Mindy Kaling, what we've seen Mindy Kaling in as an actor, as like even just as a person, they just didn't use her enough.
Yeah, she should have been the funniest person in that movie because she is. And it was disappointing to not getting any of that from her. Yeah. In the like limited scenes she had, I thought that Awkwafina was way funnier.
Oh, she was great.
She was so funny and
she
so
had
good and like
again
played that sort of like douchey millennial character, but like nailed it.
Well, she had maybe twice the screen time as Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other
it might have been more than that. Yeah.
Probably
Rihanna was in it a lot. And again, all of these actors were great.
Yeah.
They were all fantastic.
Sarah
I said
Paulson
to you,
was
like,
maybe my favorite. She was
I think she might be genuinely the best actor.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I'd say so.
Cate Blanchett's up there as well.
She was great too.
And then Sandra Bullock, we just didn't get enough of. And I think Sandra Bullock seems sometimes like she was doing an impression of George Clooney.
Yeah,
she didn't do a ton of talking. She got when she did when she was pretending to be German. I thought she was hilarious.
Or Swedish.
No, because she was talking to
Heidi Klum, who's Swedish.
I thought she was German.
No, I think she's Swedish.
But when she was talking to Heidi Klum, like anytime she was doing the accent, I was like, "This is great! Like this is funny," and she's being like a good con person.
Yep.
And German.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
good call.
Suck it.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, she was great, and like that was exciting, and like her planning stuff out was good, but it was just something was missing from her to make her like the most interesting part of that movie, and she wasn't.
Yeah, and I feel like the one thing that belittled her a little bit was that her seemingly some of her motivation for doing the job was to get back at a love interest. And I was like, "Oh, don't go that direction, man.
Actually,
like,
no,
bring it back somewhere else."
I disagree because, like, her motivation was because this is what she's good at.
Yeah,
it's the same as Danny Ocean.
It's a few things,
but Danny Ocean's motivation was the same.
What?
He gets back at the owner of the casino because he's dating.
That's right.
His ex-wife.
That's
so,
right.
Like, I think you can argue that they just switched it.
I guess so.
I don't think it's belittling her. As,
well, and the reason that I think it's belittling is because, like, Danny Ocean was married to that person, right? So there's sort of like a longer history.
Yeah.
Whereas this person was like seemingly their con partner. Yeah. You know, like they were doing those jobs with the art stuff. And then it sort of became like, and then they were like romantically involved. Yeah. But then it was like, you know, like she could have just done the job and been like, this is something I'm good at. I got to do it for Danny, blah, blah, blah. And then they brought him in and I was like, I don't know if I like I don't know if there was enough there for that to warrant her motivation.
I think what foils that is that she also had like her, like Lou was is the love interest as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So I think what you could argue is that it wasn't because of him that she was getting back at him because he screwed her over. Also because he was a temporary love interest. Also because of Danny.
And I guess also because of where, like, the what happened because she got screwed over. Yeah. It wasn't just like, he dumped me and I was pretty upset for a while. It was like, no, she went to jail.
Her motivation I think was fine. Like, I would say that, like, the love interest thing could have been, again, if Ocean's 11 didn't exist.
Sure.
But because Ocean's 11 exists and because it's the same motivation as Ocean's 8, I would argue that, like, they get a pass because they just switch it. There's no, like, it's the same reasoning, so they could just go, no, we're doing the exact same thing.
The only thing is, I wish that if they did this, they did the Danny Ocean way, and maybe it was like they were involved for, like, 5 years or something, and then she got put into prison for 5 years. So then it was like kind temporary. Of a cooler. I think, was like their relationship was just too short for me to find that believable.
But then because she got screwed over, that's why that she did it.
Yeah, exactly. And she gets into jail for 5 years, which is sort of like enough.
So I think that's
to be upset
what
at anybody,
rationalizes.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. That's what rationalizes. So I'm okay with the motivation.
I get that. Yeah.
I didn't like him. I didn't think he was a good actor. I thought he was a shit character, and I guess he's supposed to be, but, like, I was over him pretty quick, and I was like, "This is it." Yeah,
he just looked too much.
I was like,
he's
not good enough to be interesting in this.
No,
like, they should have picked somebody like I don't know,
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, or, like, maybe not like a huge name, but somebody big enough where you're like they had Bruce Willis in Ocean's 12 or 13. I can't remember, but, like, and Bruce Willis plays Bruce Willis, and, like, he's believable enough where you're like, yeah, all right, like, he's kind of seems like an asshole, so like, all right. Anyways,
well, I mean, like, the Kardashians were in this movie. Like, there was
I love that they don't refer to her as the Kardashian. And Katie Holmes too.
Yeah, and there's, like, other actors. And I'm
glad
actors.
that actually I like that, because that is my biggest pet peeve with movies, is that it takes me out of it when
they refer
like when actors, like in whatever one that that Bruce Willis is in.
Yeah.
What's her face? What is her face? From Ocean's 11, the
famous lady at the end. Like, I forgot what her name is now too, but. 59 minutes.
Okay, I got it. So yeah, whatever. Julia Roberts. And
Julia Roberts, right?
Her, like, character's name.
Yeah.
Is Beatrice, but she ends up playing Julia Roberts. Like,
pretty much,
No, she is Julia Roberts.
Oh yeah,
like, she plays Julia Roberts, who's supposedly dating Bruce Willis.
That's right. You're right. I forgot about that part.
That I hate that so much because it takes me right out of the movie. It's like I was rewatching Friends, and there's so many times in that where, like, they are, like, excited about this celebrity,
right?
But because they're like, they have personal connections to this celebrity in real life, that it just takes me right out of it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, get some. So I can't remember what I was saying,
but just like
I'm
that,
just upset about it.
Leon Bridges is in it too. I saw him for, like, all of 2 seconds.
Oh,
He's, like, getting interviewed by someone
or
something.
It's when they get evacuated. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I know. I did see him too.
I was like, oh, I didn't think he was famous enough for that, but that's cool.
No, I did. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess the idea is that they're getting, like, all of these different celebrities and stuff.
That's right. Kind of forgot the direction we were going in with that, but basically,
my complaint started with the editing and not, like, giving the characters enough not enough motivation necessarily, but, like, enough backstory, enough, like, interest. I think, like, Jill said that there were so many times where she just didn't care about the characters.
Totally.
Because they didn't give enough to care about. The fact that they even just give Rihanna a sister, I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
That, again, gives me something to hold on to.
Then you sort of get enough motivation to be like, she's doing what she's doing because she wants to care about her sister, maybe. You know, like, because
you didn't know her motivation otherwise, other than, like, she was a legitimate business person that was running scams to, like, do whatever, and then you kind of see her sister, and you're like, maybe she's using the money for good. Like, maybe she's doing something.
Because Sandra Bullock even goes, like, where's your parents? And she kind of scoffs at them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
so maybe
okay.
is
interesting.
Like, Anyways,
that's all it needs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's all it needs.
But she was great.
She was great, actually.
Yeah.
And it was funny, like, I was going to this movie being like, I'm excited to see how bad she is.
Yeah, me too.
But then
And when
she,
she
like-
came up on screen, I kind of rolled my eyes. But then she starts like actually acting. I was like, they gave her enough where you're like,
Yep.
It was enough to not screw it up, but again to still be interesting enough that like I was excited when she was on screen. When she was in the truck, I was like, this is great. This is great, like tech person type stuff.
Yep.
And she wasn't like
has,
overly
the 8
annoying.
ball
As
or 9 ball or whatever
Yeah.
she puts into the thing, and she's
Yeah.
like using it as a mouse. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Just the fact that they didn't make the hacker person like super complicated when she was just clicking the arrow, I was like, that's it. Like it doesn't need to be like a
She's just
script
going,
that you
click,
write. Yeah.
Click. Or
I was
she's
like-
like making the she's like has Photoshop open and then she's like
Yeah,
doing the poster
it's
and it's like the most
simple.
like simple text. I was like, that's
I feel like
there
they
you
just
go.
asked somebody who is like a hacker, and they were
No,
like,
not even
what
that.
Do you do?
It was probably like someone who was like
technologically savvy.
like some like company's like
Maybe.
IT department, and they're
Yeah,
like,
and
can
they
you
were
just
like, what
come
do
in
you
and,
do
like,
on an average
yeah.
day? And she's like, I just click stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no, it was like, it was believable enough where I was like, probably.
So I think one of my things with this movie is that it was easy to like.
Yeah.
All the characters were super likable, like Sarah
Again,
Paulson,
Ocean's 11 is the same
even
way.
Mindy Kaling, even though
Yeah.
she was hardly on film,
Yeah.
like she was still likable.
Yeah.
Rihanna was likable. Like everybody was likable. I
Yeah.
even really liked Helena
Yeah.
Bonham Carter or whatever her name is. She was great.
Yeah.
But it was just like they were just so close to being a super great movie, and it just missed the mark, just like ever so slightly, you know. And I think this movie would have even maybe benefited from being 20 minutes longer, you know. Give like each of the characters maybe like 2 to 4 minutes of
I
just
think so
extra
too.
backstory, extra dialogue, or
Yeah.
something to fill out those gaps. You know, but I mean, that's kind of hard. That's a lot to ask.
It's a lot
obviously.
to ask,
It is a
but-
lot to ask. You can't just make a 20
Yeah.
minute or a movie 20 minutes longer.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that because I think what maybe like I was like not into it for the first like 40 minutes of this movie. As soon as they started doing the heist, not even the build up to the heist. Like I think what made Ocean's 11 interesting is the build up to the heist, them casing the place, them tracking what the casino owner was doing. Like all of this extra stuff made you like invested in it, and they just didn't do that with this. Like they spent all this time collecting everybody, and then they get to when they actually commit the heist, and then that's when I'm like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Like I'm into this. And then them talking about the heist after and getting investigated, I was into that. I don't like James Corden, but I thought that was good. And then continuing on to like when they were like, and then we did this other heist inside the heist. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
into it. That was sick. It was like the last like hour and a half or hour of this movie that I was into that part of it, but the beginning of it was shit.
It just didn't feel like it was necessary.
It didn't
or
feel it. Well,
it would have benefited from going in a different direction. But going back to James Corden, who I fucking hate with a passion, I
He was
despise him as a human being.
Yeah.
He made me like him.
yeah,
He was likable.
He wasn't written in a way of being this goofy
Of being James
British,
Corden?
James Corden.
Yeah.
He was actually interesting. He actually seemed like he was doing like his due diligence as like an investigator. Him having the connection to Debbie made him interesting too.
Yep.
And the fact that there was something
And
there.
that family,
Yeah. That was interesting to me. And like even I didn't necessarily like the deal that they made. I thought like Debbie was a little too like loose in telling him what had happened and stuff, and I was like a little off board on that, but I think they held on to it a little bit, but there seemed too many times where I was like, nah, he knows it was you.
Yeah.
He's got obviously enough stuff. Like, yeah, he can see, but he knows that there's other people.
But that's the
involved.
thing. It's like he knows that it was her, but he doesn't have the evidence.
Yeah.
She's got an alibi.
I guess
he
it's
doesn't
the
know who her
same-
team is. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
I guess it's the same as Ocean's 11. Like they see Danny throughout
Yeah.
the casino. He also has an airtight alibi with like paying off the guy to beat him up.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like they know that he was in there, and that's all.
They know it's him, but
Yeah.
they can't prove it.
I think. Is there anything else?
No. Do you want to give your rating?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Yeah,
7.
okay.
I liked it, but I think there was too many things that kind of like. I think for that stretch at the beginning of the movie, I wasn't into it.
Yeah. Which
it's going to do well, and it's going to do well because it's got all these big name actors. Give me more Sarah Paulson, and I'd be happy.
Give me more full
Character
female
depth,
cast characters or
more
female cast.
Lewis
totally.
Sick. Lewis Sick in The Double Job.
Definitely.
I just like Cate Blanchett.
I love Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Cate Blanchett? This whole movie, like I love the movie because like it was sort of just fun. It was likable. Yeah, like you said, like last hour you were like into it. First bit it was like, all right, let's get moving here.
Yeah.
But you know what? Give me more of these ensemble casts because like all of these people are great actors.
Yeah.
And they all, it wasn't
the
like
next ensemble would be the Quentin Tarantino movie.
That's right, pretty much. But
I think also, and I know we haven't really. No, I'm not even gonna say it.
But yeah, I mean, like I think a lot of people are gonna dismiss this movie because they think it's gonna be a female version of those movies.
Yeah.
But really, this is like a sequel.
It is.
They made it super believable that this is just another direction of the narrative. This is another direction of the story. Yep. She's related. She's the sister of the original Ocean. Why can't we have this movie? I think they did a great job of just being like, okay, like here's the Ocean's movie. Yeah. And here's another story.
So
it just happens to be full female cast.
So when
my biggest
Oceans,
thing that I loved about this movie,
Ghostbusters 2 or Ghostbusters like the new reboot by Paul Feig or whatever came out, and they were like, it's all female cast. People were shitting on it before like there was. I mean, there's a corner of the internet that shits on it. Yeah. When this one got announced, I don't think there was the same outcry.
You know why? I think because. I mean, obviously, like I think the idea.
I think you and I are in a different bubble compared to that. Though.
Yeah, of
like
course.
we're like that was the last thing that crossed my mind.
We spent the last whatever time discussing the actual movie
without saying it,
without even saying anything about this part of it.
But the fact, that's why I didn't want to say anything in the first place.
I think we had.
I think you have to acknowledge it because
you have to acknowledge it.
I don't think it made it. That wasn't the problem.
No. Definitely not.
No, and I don't think that is a problem necessarily. And like I want to know what the difference is between the Ghostbusters reboot and this. That people were so upset about that movie and not really with this one. I don't know. I don't think there wasn't the same public outcry. No, I want to know why.
Obviously, but
because the rationale is so like believable that he has a sister and the sister is in the same sort of job and like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Anyways.
It's all her friends, like I think I'd give it 4.5 out of 7 sounds like a pretty good number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 5 out of 7.
What that?
Just because I think my two biggest things is that
5?
Yeah, 5 out of 7, just because I think my two biggest things are
65%. Yeah, all right.
They just needed is that what yours is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They just needed like a little bit more time for each character to flesh out, why they were even involved, that kind of stuff. Maybe more on Lou. I liked Lou as a character, and I just wanted sort of more of her. I don't know.
Same.
5 out of 7.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
I'd realize now that the podcast should be really just named "What's Her Face" or "What's His Face."
Yeah, because
we're not good at names.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Twin Speaks first watch, first listen of Ocean's 8. You can find our Twitter at @TwinSpeaks_. I have been your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at @KidCombo_. And I was, of course, joined by my brother and co-host, and Andrew. I almost said Andemonium again.
That's fine.
I think I've done that. And you can find him at social media at Andemonium.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. If you're listening to this the whole way through, definitely tweet at us.
Yeah.
We have no idea who's listening to this.
Yeah, we don't know.
We saw 9 people.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
One's not Jill. I know that.
Yeah.
One's maybe Dad.
One's Georgia.
That's 2.
Yeah, that's 2 people.
I'm not listening to it.
No, I mean, I was here.
We were here.
We don't need to.
Anyways, tweet us at @TwinSpeaks_.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.